It is officially March Madness, and that means Notre Dame women's basketball is ready to make their run through the tournament. Welcome to Wake Up the Echoes, presented by TireRack.com. I'm your host, Tony Simeone. We have to talk women's hoops this week as they get set to open up at home in the NCAA tournament. What a great opportunity to play possibly 2 games here at home and make their way on another tournament run. So we had a chance to catch up with head coach Niele Ivey. Then a little bit later, Liza, Karlen, and Maddy Westbeld came by, talked to them about a whole host of topics as they get set for the tournament. Really fun time here on campus in the middle of March. I can't wait for the tournament on both the men's and women's side this week. The women are ready to make their run here in South Bend, so let's get to it. Let's talk to head coach Niele Ivey. All right, Coach Ivey, here we go. This is it. This is tournament time. Welcome back to Wake Up the Echoes. I want to just first say we have our St. Patrick's Day theme set still up for you guys. Luck of the Irish, we're thinking keeping it going.
Yes.
And I know green this time of year, it's your guys' color. Just as you're getting set for the tournament, how are you feeling? What's the mood like? How are you feeling going into the tournament?
Yeah, super excited, grateful. I feel like being in this moment as a player, as assistant coach, and as head coach, you always have to embrace, like, this is a blessing to be in the tournament. We have an opportunity to host, so the excitement's coming to South Bend. We get a chance to play in front of our fans on Friday. So super grateful and excited to get started.
Okay, this is one of the things about the women's tournament. There's actually a lot of things I think the women's game personally has figured out better than the men's game with the shot clock, quarters, advance the ball timeouts, etc. Those things I like more.
Yes.
But I think that home sites, and I don't want to get into a debate about what it should be, but the home sites are so cool. The fact that you guys get to play at home, other teams will play at home. I've actually talked to hockey coaches recently that would prefer that they start their tournament at home sites, and they refer to the women's basketball tournament as an example because it's great energy. You guys have done this so many times now, but just how valuable is it and how exciting is it to play the biggest games of your season in your own building with a lot of your fans there?
It's big, and having that, the schedule to prepare for and being successful with the schedule to have this opportunity is major. So putting in that groundwork early, it is a huge advantage having your crowd, having your fans there, having the energy of being in your arena. The familiarity of the arena, but also just like you mentioned, the energy of the fans. And we're so grateful. We know that they're going to come out and hopefully sell out this arena and bringing, women's basketball a new set of teams to the South Bend, and just the excitement it's big. It's a big part of why this selection show was so great for us that we got a chance to host.
Yeah, it's such a cool opportunity, obviously, if you're in the area, to get to go watch NCAA tournament games. Like, these are the biggest games of the season. They always are intense, no matter who's playing, you guys or the other teams. But it's just so neat you get to start at home. I want to talk a little bit about what you've been able to do with this downtime, the way the conference tournaments work. You guys ended all the way last weekend, and now you're waiting until next week. So it's a unique kind of lull in the schedule where you have a lot of time off. I get the sense like maybe for you guys a good opportunity to get some rest, make sure you're ready to go for the tournament. What have you guys maybe focused on here during this time off to prepare to now start peaking in the tournament?
Well, first, like you mentioned, just recharge. So getting a chance to kind of have not only a physical break, but also a mental break.
Okay.
We were on spring break for the South Bend, for Notre Dame.
Yeah.
All the student body, they were on spring break, so they got a chance to just rest, reset, refocus. And then, so I gave them a couple of days off, and then we returned. It was back to business. We worked a lot on habits, fundamentals, a lot of defensive things that we need to fix, and then offensively working through some things. So I thought it was a great break. They came back. They're really mentally focused. They're really locked in. They're really excited, to have another opportunity, a new season. So I just really took advantage of that time off, but also getting back to work.
Yeah, it seems like it'd be a good time for that. The question I have for you with this group in particular is, it's a really experienced group. It's obviously super talented. You have some new faces to some degree, but people with lots of tournament experience and lots of experience playing in big games. How beneficial is that for you as a coach? You've obviously played in these situations and coached in them plenty, but when you have a group that's been through a lot of this already, how does that make it easier? How can you prepare for March maybe differently than when you had a younger or more inexperienced team?
Yeah, well, I'm fortunate that I have, again, a lot of experience at a lot of different positions. So that's been incredible because they understand. And then sometimes it's more them on the court. I can set them up for all type of things and scenarios, but the chemistry on the court really matters because, multiple starters have been in this moment. And Hannah, a a freshman, helped us get to the Sweet 16 last year. So she understands it's a different shift of energy when you go into the tournament. The stakes are really high. Sony, Liv, Maddy, they've both been in these moments. And Liza played here last season.
That's right.
Playing at Marquette. So I think that experience is going to really help us, and I'm going to lean on those experiences to help us on Friday.
Yeah, Liza's going to be here. I want to kind of ask her about that because I've heard that was kind of a big reason or one reason why she ended up coming here. Okay, I want you to help me as somebody who's never had the opportunity, didn't earn it, to play at this level. I get the sense, and I broadcast NCAA tournament once with the men in 2012, or 2022, sorry. And I remember just thinking every timeout, every break, every turnover, every made or miss shot, it just felt so much bigger. And I want to know from your standpoint, when I just think about huddles when I think about coaches, like, what's the energy like? I don't know if you have to change your message, but just what does it feel like when you're in these huddles that, like, every time you break the huddle, you know that, like, hey, if we don't play our best, our season could be over. Yeah. If we do play our best, we get another game. Just what is it like when you're in those moments? Because, I can never feel it, and you've done it a lot. It just seems like it's great, and it can also be crushing when it doesn't go your way. Like, what's it like to be in that? Yeah,
it's definitely heightened. The emotions are heightened, and sometimes that goes in a really positive way. Sometimes it can go in a negative way, especially if you feel like you're a senior and you have the sense of urgency goes to another level.
Yeah.
So it's definitely pressure filled, but I think this season for us, we've been in a lot of pressure moments. Our expectations are really high. Our standard is really high. So I know that we're built for it. We're ready for it, but it definitely feels heightened. Everything feels heightened. So like you mentioned, that one turnover every possession is so critical in these type of scenarios when, you're trying to, it's one and done. The stakes are as high as it is, so it's heightened.
How do you make sure, and maybe you can't, maybe it's just up to the players, that players play with the sense of urgency necessary without then getting too tight or too nervous, or you don't want them going out there and being like, if I make this mistake and I make this one turnover, it's going to cost us the season, because you need players like Hannah or Olivia to play like themselves, which is loose, and they're going to take chances. So
right.
How do you do that as a coach when you know that, as a player, you can go one of two ways, and sometimes it'd be overthink things? Like, what do you do? How do you message that?
Yeah, I mean, my biggest thing for them is like the defensive end is where you can control. You can't control a lot of scenarios that happen. And if your mindset is on just being great defensively, I think that defense will turn into offense and flow will happen from that. And then also I'm really big on getting to the next play. Like trying to keep them encouraged, trying to stay positive and, helping them try to get to the next play. And that's what as coaches, that's what we try to do, the entire season. So hopefully they've built that habit and that discipline to get to the next play. But again, on this stage, it's like, I think great players emerge, great teams emerges on this type of stage. So I'm excited and I'm encouraged that we're going to be part of that.
Yeah, I've heard the coaching adage a lot. Like defense doesn't have to have off nights, right?
Yes.
Defense can always show up. 100% of the time, your defense, you can control if it's an on night or an off night. Sometimes shots don't go down, but if your defense shows up every night, you can control that.
Exactly. So. You want to talk to the team in the locker room?
Yeah. When are you going today? I'm sure.
I love that.
I bet
You're
you my message.
What I feel. So thank you.
I had a coach. I'll just throw this at you. Third grade coach. He always said, I don't know what you think about this, but I loved this guy. He said, defense wins games. Mm-hmm. Free throws win championships. What are your thoughts on that? Do you agree? You can disagree.
I mean, that's a big piece of it. I won with Ruth Riley won our national championship in 2001 at the line. So there's a lot of truth to that. But definitely just being a great defensive team. I think that's something, that's an edge that you have. Like you mentioned, on nights that sometimes the ball doesn't go in the net, or execution wise it's not as sharp as it normally is. But defense, you can always control that. So
one thing I'm thinking now I'm just all over the place. But the women's game, I did give it a lot of compliments. The one thing I don't like about the NBA either, and I love about men's basketball, is they still have the 1-and-1. I love the 1-and-1 just because it gives you more hope. Now I see. What do you think about the 1-and-1? Do you like it or not?
Well, I'm just used to
our
rule change now with 4 quarters and advancing and fifth foul. Having 2 free throws. Yeah. So I'm just used to it. Yeah. And I like the adjustment because I think the game's faster that way.
I'm with you. And I'll say this. I could give up the 1-and-1 with the women, I guess, because you do get to advance the ball.
Yes.
But when I do the men's games, I look, okay, if you do foul here and you get them to miss the front end, you got a chance. But okay.
That's true.
I like that it keeps teams in it a little bit more. Okay. I see the green nails.
Yes.
And we were talking about before we started, but there might be some new Notre Dame fans that don't know about the tradition. You guys every year go to the Green Nails, and you were reminding me it's a tradition that was started your freshman year back in '96, so we're coming up on 30 years with the tradition. I mean,
well,
sorry about that.
Aging me.
Sorry about that. Just, I can't remember exactly how it started. It was one of your teammates that started doing it, and you guys have done it ever since. Just explain to me the importance and the symbolism of doing the green nails this time of the year.
Yeah, so credit to Molly Pyrick, Boozum. Her son is one of our practice players,
Wow.
so Drew. But her roommate and Molly, we were going to obviously the tournament, and they were trying to figure out like what cool way can we just like feel like we have a little bit of swag going into the tournament. Yeah. And we at that time we were playing in Texas, so Texas was a number 1 seed, and so we went down and played in Texas, and I was out. I was out with a knee injury or whatever, and Molly and them decided like, well, maybe let's just, because they were thinking about what it mean we braid our hair or put like a headband on or something like that, and the team was like, no, we don't want to do that. Like that's not part of their personality. So they said let's wear green because it was St. Patty's Day, just like today.
Yeah.
So we wore green. And we won. So we beat Texas on their home floor, went to our first Sweet 16 game. And then after that, it was like, this was tradition. Like we were very superstitious. So we were like, okay, every tournament game, like we're going to wear green from now on.
Yeah.
So that's where the tradition started. So wearing green, going down there in Texas, like huge game. First time that we've ever been to the Sweet 16 and going that far. And that tradition just carried on. And again, it's just kind of like, this is tournament time. We're bringing in the energy of Notre Dame, the color green, the luck of the Irish. And so that's when it just kind of took on a life of its own. Yeah.
It's kind of the perfect application, I think, of green because it's Notre Dame's kind of third color. We don't use it all that often. And it's just this probably reminder. You're at the free throw line and you see your nails like, okay, yeah, got to lock in.
Yes.
Postseason. It seems like a great reminder, just like the perfect way for everyone to just remember what's on the line, what time of year it is. And it's amazing how it lines up with St. Patrick's Day. It feels like every year it's like, this is the week. Okay, it's green. It's time to go. It's awesome. Okay, last one, I guess, as you head into the tournament, I don't want to try to get into your guys' head too much, but just what's the biggest key for you guys to perform the way you want to here this weekend? Obviously, you have to take it one game at a time, but the goal is to win 2 games this weekend and get to the Sweet 16. What do you guys have to do well this week to advance?
Yeah, I think just building our chemistry on the court. Okay. I think defensively, having to have a whole different level defensively. Okay. And so just having that defensive mindset on Friday, we have to come in with a sense of urgency, being extremely disciplined defensively, and then allowing our offense to flow from that. Because we have so many weapons, as everybody knows, a very talented roster. And I think that we really feed off the energy of our defense. So once our defense is locked in, and I think that kind of fuels our offense. And so I think that's the biggest thing for us, play with a sense of urgency because of what this is. It's the tournament time. Everything is heightened. Everything is higher. Electricity is higher. Everybody's going to give you their best shot. Everybody is it's desperate. It's desperation right now. So having that sense of urgency defensively is where I think you're going to see a big shift. Just going out so hard, 150% on the court, every possession, just understanding that this is it.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch. I can't wait to see you guys, again, like you said at the beginning, to get to play these games on your home floor. Really special, great advantage. I think the crowd will be there to help you guys out, and I'm excited to watch you guys perform. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with Liza.
Perfect.
All right, Coach, it's time for our cooler conversation presented by Yeti. And you brought a very special guest, Liza Karlen. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, I want to get down to a bunch of different stuff. And Maddy's going to come later to give you, she has a lot of crazy questions she asks. But I want to start first. I've got some drinks in here. First, either one, you guys want a cupcake? We still have our St. Patrick's Day cupcakes going.
I'm all right.
Yeah,
good. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Game week.
Yep. You know how it is.
I have Coke products, again, game week. Wow. But we do have Dasani water or Topo Chico water.
Okay.
You can pass too.
I'll take a water.
Okay.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Dasani coming your way.
Okay.
Gotcha. Thank you.
I'm good. Thank you. Yes.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. Cupcakes will stay here. I know I'm going to ask Maddy about them too.
Okay.
I think she's going to have one.
I don't think so either.
Okay, so Liza, I want to start with this. You were at Marquette for 4 years, and then we were talking about this a little bit. You were in the tournament last year here.
Yeah.
And that kind of played a role in you deciding to end up coming here. Can you just talk me through the process at the end of last year when you decided, okay, 5th year, I want it to be at Notre Dame?
Yeah, I think that the tournament has really amped up just these last few years with women's basketball. March comes along and there's just a whole new excitement. I think it's specifically around women's basketball too. Just so much talk, so much excitement around the tournament, around the sport in general. And just being here for my last game ever at Marquette, or at the time what I thought would be my last game. Just seeing, the fan base and the community and everyone in South Bend just rallying around this team, seeing all the excitement around the sport. It just seemed like something that I had a great opportunity to do for one more year.
Yeah.
And I had to take advantage of that for sure.
Okay, so Coach, from your standpoint, you get a 4-year player to come here and you talk to her and say, hey, we want you to be a part of this. But my understanding is there was at least some conversation about, hey, you might not play the same exact role you played at Marquette. How do those conversations go when you're explaining to someone, we'd love to have you here, but it might not look exactly the same as it did in Milwaukee?
Yeah, I mean, like she said, like she is a difference maker, and she knows exactly what she wanted to experience for her last season, and she's all about winning. And it's definitely a sacrifice. We have an incredible roster, and me and her, we have like great transparent conversations. And she's a culture kid. She's a kid, or a young woman, that plays with her heart. She has a ton of experience, and she comes in, she makes an impact, and she wants to win, and she's going to do whatever it takes to win, and whatever that means. I have 6 starters. We talk about that a lot, where it doesn't matter you're starting or not starting. She comes in, she makes an impact, and you have to have somebody that's very unselfish, and that's what she is, and she's brought so much to our program, and I'm so grateful that she chose us.
Yeah. So, Liza, how did you get to that mindset? Because I was looking everything up, and last year, your first team All-Big East, right? You're like 17.5 points a game. Your role is going to change. How did you adopt that mindset? Because some people will be like, I'm going to get one more chance to play. I want to go and do whatever I want. I want to score as much as I can. I want it to look and feel the way, maybe a lot of people want it to look and feel, and you chose this path. Why is that?
Yeah, I kind of was looking at it in terms of experiences. I had the experience my freshman year of not playing. I had the experience of a role player. I had the experience of being the go-to player. The only experience I didn't have was winning in March, and that's exactly what I wanted, and that's why I'm here. It made the process really easy of when I entered the portal of what teams do I believe can go all the way, and Notre Dame was at the top of the list, and so I'm grateful that I even had the opportunity to come here. And this is, kind of the last thing on my checklist of college basketball, what I want to accomplish. I heard you say, I heard the recruiting soundbite right there. Like, I wanted the experience of winning in March. That's what it's all about, right? That's
powerful.
Yeah.
The phrase, like I said, like, she's a special person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody that can see. You have to have that mindset, and she has that.
Yeah. I was talking to Coach before you got here just about the impact of playing at home, and it sounds like you got to see it on the other side last year. Just try to tell me, because I guess you're the only person we can talk to, I guess, that knows what it's like, knows how hard it is to not have the home court advantage, right? You have to be the opposition. What was that like, and how much of a factor is the crowd here?
Luckily we did. Would have loved to win a game last year, but we didn't have to play Notre Dame at Notre Dame. So,
sure.
Going into any stadium, especially a program like Notre Dame, which just has so much support, it's obviously hard on the opposing team, but now having that, behind us this year, it's crazy. We just walk into home games with so much confidence. We are so fortunate to have the fan base that we have. For me to experience this type of fan base has been phenomenal. It's really, really special. It doesn't really happen a lot of other places. So, I couldn't have picked a better place, I think, to spend my last year.
Okay, I wanted to follow up on something you talked about at the beginning, really with both you guys, and either one of you can answer it first, but the evolution of women's hoops. Like, I just feel this year, and the last couple of years, obviously, but there's definitely more hype this year than 5 years ago, or 4 years ago, I guess, in the first time you were in college postseason. Like, how have you tangibly seen the change? Like, what are the changes that you're seeing? Is it, arenas more full? Is it more engagement when you're talking to people that might not have followed the sport in the past? Like, how are you seeing the sport break through in a way over these last 5 years that it wasn't prior? And I guess I start with you, Liza, because you brought it up, that you've seen it change in your time in college basketball.
Yeah, I think there's just a lot of different areas where it's been impacted. I think social media comes to mind. Fans not only become invested in, the games, but also different personalities they like to follow throughout their careers. And it's cool because women's basketball, there's no one and done. So you have the ability to follow players kind of throughout their entire college career for 4 years. And I think that's really important for, fan bases to really grow and love, watch these women grow. To teams, to personalities I really like. I also think NIL has like a big thing to do with it as well. You see women getting paid through sponsorships and growing their brands in that type of way as well. So I think that is big. It's just their platforms that they have.
I see you nodding along, Coach. Is that where you've seen it primarily from your vantage point?
Absolutely. And the exposure, like she talked about, I mean, we have, women's basketball players that have, they're getting coverage from ESPN, following them throughout the season. We're Slam Magazine covers, commercials, endorsements, all those type of things. And
I have seen some great ads out there.
Yes, there's some great ads out there. And just the exposure is bringing attention to our game. And I think that's the biggest thing I've noticed. Even my first year, I'm in year 5, like we're on, our viewership is increased. It's obviously gotten better and better. The more respect, more people, we're on podcasts with our male counterparts like the NBA, and there are so many people that are following our game now. We're household names, which is totally different. I think that's where the evolution of the game has grown, the exposure and the attention to our game. And the product is great. The product is obviously a lot better. And every year the players, I think, are getting stronger, faster, and more talented. It's amazing to see the evolution of the game.
Yeah, game has evolved, and I think you hit on ESPN and Notre Dame and Fighting Irish Media do a ton of work with them. I do want to give them a specific shout out because I do think ESPN has covered the women's tournament for a long time in a certain way that maybe necessarily, it helped with the rise. That like when people got really interested, they were covering it in a way that helped people get on board. Where if they weren't covering it to that extent, when people were trying to get on board, it'd have been tough. Yeah. And like they were really putting a lot of resources into it. Final Four for years, obviously, but all the broadcasts they've done a great job of, I think, helping kind of grow the brand, and then like the train was able to take off with their help when it was time to go. Liza, so this is your 5th year in school. What's it been like making the transition to Notre Dame? What's that experience been like for you?
I mean, Notre Dame is an excellent university for academics, and there's just so much tradition, whether that's athletics or academics. And I think, I say this all the time when people ask me about Notre Dame, it's the community. I've had so much support through Mendoza, the College of Business, and then through athletics, women's basketball, or just athletics as a whole. The support is phenomenal. I have endless amount of people that reach out to me and want to help me in any way that they can. And it's been an incredible year. So
you're at Mendoza this year.
Yes.
Studying what, management?
Yep, that's right.
But you were engineering at
I was.
Marquette?
That's correct, yeah.
So whenever you're done playing, what do you want to do with all that? If you don't know, it's fine. You don't have to know. I tell this to everyone, but I always ask in case you do know. Like, do you have an inkling?
Oh, goodness. I mean, I thought I did last year, and then, I get into this school of business, and there's just so many doors that are open. I think partly just being at Notre Dame, there's so many more opportunities that are presented to you. So I truly have no idea. I'm open to doing anything, honestly. But, yeah, it'll be exciting. I feel like I'm in a position to succeed in whatever I do, and athletics has been a big part of that. So.
Yeah. Coach, from your standpoint, I look at your roster, and I think I've had a chance to sit down with almost everybody this year, close to it. To me, there's just such a great mix of different people, different, some are transfers in, some have been here for a while. But when you add someone like Liza, like what does that do when you have someone that comes with a different experience from Marquette and add it to a locker room? Just what's it been like to kind of have her be a part of this group that already was really tight, but everyone I've talked to that's new is like they welcome everybody with open arms. Just what's it been like to bring her into the fold for this year?
It's been incredible. Just talking to her, my first conversation with her, first of all, doing the backstory of who she is as a person. She just fits Notre Dame. And so talking to her, the recruiting process and having her come on campus with her parents, I was like, oh my gosh, like she's going to completely enhance this program. The locker room, the culture, but also on the court, just because of the way she plays, her experience. And I had the opportunity to watch her in person. It's different when you watch clips, and I've, scouted, just playing either Marquette or Marquette playing UConn. Like I've watched her play for the last couple of years. Yeah. And then seeing her in person, we were like, oh my goodness, and then having the opportunity to, recruit her to try to bring her to our family was incredible. So I mean, she's been an incredible addition, and she's done everything I thought she would, as far as, like I said, enhancing us in such an immensely positive way. She's also just an amazing young woman, and so I've been grateful, like, building a relationship with her, even though it's a short period of time because it's only been a year. It's a relationship that's going to last a lifetime, and that's what I love about bringing the right people here.
Yeah.
Like, when you bring the right fit, it doesn't matter if you've known her. If I've known her since I've known you, Liza, since you were 10 years old. It's like she makes an immediate impact because her heart is so pure, and she's a great person.
Okay, I want to follow up, and maybe you'll know about when you're just like watching a game, but watching clips versus watching in person.
Yes.
What are you able to see? Because I'll put it this way: when I am, and again, you have way more acumen than me, but when I'm watching a game, doing it on the radio,
yeah,
I watch huddles a lot when I can see into them, and I look for body language. I look for how are coaches and players interacting, or even like when you're watching on TV, and maybe clips will sometimes show this when you're in the wider view, but like, how does someone react after a bad call or whatever it may be?
Right.
Are you looking at stuff like that, or what are you able to see when you're in person that you can't see when you just get the rip of the clips?
Yeah, I mean, her motor, I think that's something you can see that on film, but when you see it live, it's different. The way that she goes after she's a workhorse. She goes after every possession. You can tell she's giving 120%. You see that more in person, and that's what I saw watching her last season. And again, like I said, I've watched different things that she can do skill wise. Her motor on defensive end and just playing hard and talking, and you can see that more so in person, and the energy that she exudes, and the command that she has on the court. I feel like I saw that more. So you can't really see that in clips. You can see scoring, you can see physicality, but on the court you can see her talking, you can see her motor more so when you get a chance to see it live in person.
I would imagine, like defensive communication, you can pick up a lot better in person, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Liza, before I let Coach go and we bring Maddy in, so just because of the COVID year, I never am positive, but is this your last year of eligibility? Or
Yes, that's correct.
So this is it.
Sure, valid question.
Okay.
I know, maybe I'll have to double check. But.
Okay. I'm going to assume it is. So whenever I get someone in your spot, and I think Maddy's in the same spot, maybe I'll ask her later, but like, no matter how far you guys go, college basketball is over in the next month for you, and I'm sure you will do everything you can to savor these final games. Hopefully it's 6, right? But just what is your mindset going into this stretch here as it does come to a close, and you hope it goes a long way? Just what's going through your head as you have had time to think about that, or have you tried to block it out? Where's your head at?
No, yeah, that's a great question, and I'll be very honest. Like, there's a small part, like, in the back of my mind that knows it's going to all be over. And you kind of build this identity around being a college athlete, especially at a Division I school, and you have so much pride around it. It's going to be done soon. But I think to kind of combat that, it's not over yet. I'm still a college basketball player. We still have a mission. Like, we still have a huge thing that we want to accomplish. And this is what it's all about, like, these next 3 weeks. So taking it one day at a time. And I know that whether we win it all or whether we don't, it's going to be over regardless. So just being incredibly grateful for everything that's gotten me to this point. Being incredibly grateful that we still have another day. We have practice today. And I know that, kind of what Coach Ivey was saying, if I give it 100%, there's nothing that I'll regret looking back on this time. So however it ends, playing to my identity, to this team's identity, and going out on a high note. All
right, I've got a great story for you. It's about my high school basketball career, but Coach, you don't want to hear that. Why don't you get out of here, and I'll get Maddy in here, and we'll tell him the story.
Thank you.
All right, great to see you. All right, Maddy, welcome back. Great to see you. Told Coach she was good. It's your turn to jump back in. It's great to see you. Liza, you're still here. This is our Tire Rack Spinning Our Wheels segment. You're always here for our fun game. We'll see if we have time to actually get to this story I wanted to impart upon. You guys are both in your 5th year, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think it's important to get in, but we'll see if we have time. Okay. Let's start with what we're here to do, and that's spin the wheel. And you know what? Usually, you've never spun the wheel. Usually our guest does, but Maddy's closest, so I'll let you do it. Right. Spin away. Okay. Oh, gosh. Oh, look at that. We have this or that, but you know what? It's not. It's not this or that. It's not this or that. I'm sorry. Go do one more. One more. Yeah.
Stop it.
And roll it back one.
And this way?
Yeah, revert. The other way. Yeah. Boom. Know your team.
How did that happen?
Why did we end up on this?
That's the game we got. Welcome to the show. All right. We have 6. And in that, watch your head here, but I think, Maddy, if you open up there.
Oh, wow.
We do they have white. Yeah, see, it's a full functional set here. We got whiteboards. And we'll have you guys write down the names of your teammates here. There should be 2 pens. Yeah, pens and erasers.
Wow. Balance.
The whole thing.
There you go.
Okay, 6 prompts. We'll have you guys, write down who you think. Don't show each other. Keep it to yourself, and then we'll reveal. We'll reveal to that camera in a second. Okay, first one here. Who is the most likely to sleep through an earthquake on your team?
That was
Liza was
automatic.
fast. She was fast.
Yeah. This is an auto answer for me.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead. You guys both said KK. Now, why is that? Did she just sleep a ton?
Yeah, she's nap queen.
That is pretty much sums it up.
Yep.
Okay. Sleeping Beauty.
She was sleeping meeting. Yep.
Are you guys good sleepers?
Absolutely.
I'm a terrible
On
sleeper.
a good night. Yeah.
Okay. It's huge for performance. Do you guys take naps pregame? Like after shoot around, before pregame?
I always have to.
Okay.
Always.
From like 2 to 3? Or
If I can get like a nice 25 minutes in, solid.
really?
Yeah, can't go too long.
Oh, 25-minute nap.
Optimal. for
Wow.
me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Second one here. Most likely to live off the grid.
Oh.
Can I say myself?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's say you too.
You've given away your answer, but that's fair.
Oh,
I'm going to say. Oh,
no, man.
wait. Okay, I'll change it.
Okay, Maddie's ready, and she's disclosed she's going to pick herself. So, all right, 3, 2, 1, go ahead.
I was going to pick Maddy
Sony.
as well, but Sony would be my second choice, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I just think Sonia really likes to keep the circle small and doesn't really go outside much. And if we can hang out, if we can drag Sonia out of the house, it's a good day.
Okay.
But Sonia just likes to.
I would agree with
What
that.
about you, Maddie? Why'd you say yourself?
I mean, to me, off the grid means on the beach, summer. So that's
Mm-hmm.
Get away from it all.
that's what I would be.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay, most likely to go skydiving. There was a look as if you guys were on the same page and no one wrote anything down.
I was okay.
Oh, I have one.
I think.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Isabella.
Oh, Bella and Emma.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now why you guys? Okay, explain why.
Well, we called Emma last year Mermaid Man when we were in Greece because she's just so adventurous.
Oh,
That's a good point.
So that's really why.
I would say Bella's similar.
Mermaid Man.
just very adventurous.
Yeah. Also, Bella just will like try anything once. Like she just likes experiences. Like I do.
Do everything at least once.
Yeah.
Would you guys ever jump out of a plane?
I did last year actually.
You've done it.
I have done it.
Really?
Wow. You could have said yourself.
I did.
Right?
Yeah, I already have. So I
Okay.
feel like that's too easy, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd do it. Honestly, it scared me. Were you
I
scared?
was like, it's fine. And then you look out, you're hanging out of a plane. You're like, I don't know.
It's too late now.
You have
It is too
someone
late. They
with
just-
you, right?
Yes.
And they push you.
Well, it depends where you go. Some places, if you're like standing, they will just push because people start to grab and
Oh no.
knock your arms out and you go anyway. But this place was great. If you wanted to say no, then you could still do it. But some planes, once you get in the plane, it's you're getting up. You're jumping out.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why I'm never doing it. Okay, most likely to talk through a movie. Oh, this is you do not want to be on the whiteboard right now.
It might be me again.
Hey, no, there's no table talk here. You gotta
Okay, I get you.
cast your own ballot and then see where the chips may fall.
Let's. Okay.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
That's such a good one. I should have put Kai.
You said yourself.
Myself. I am such a yapper.
I'm me too. But
You said, all right, who's your? I didn't see yours. What did you say?
Kylie.
That's a good one.
That
too.
makes sense. Yeah.
Kai is good. Yeah.
Yeah, she's that, main character.
There's honestly no way to really paint this as a compliment either. Like sometimes, but I was trying to say, like, I love to hear what you have to say about the.
I love your opinions.
Just please be quiet during the movie.
Sorry about that one.
Okay, 2 more here. Okay, most likely to win a baking competition.
Oh. If it was cooking, I would put you. Just so you know.
That was tough. That was a shot.
I appreciate
So you're a chef, but you can't handle pastry.
Well, I mean, I'm an artist. You know what I mean? You can't really be an artist with baking.
Have you seen like Great British Bake Off or whatever?
Well, I mean,
Pure
like,
art.
when it comes to like making it taste good, you really got to follow the ingredients.
Okay, it's a science, is what you're saying.
It's a science. Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I'm
Okay.
trying to say.
Now I know what you're saying. Baking is a science. You can't be Picasso with your measurements.
I feel like this is a shot in the dark.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
I said Kate or Sony.
Okay, I
Sony
think
makes
Kate for
good
sure.
cookies.
What did you say?
I said Sarah because you really
Oh.
light something in my brain when you said science,
Ah,
and she just
follow the directions.
it's word association. I feel like she would kill it.
Okay, last one here. Know your teammates. Most likely to become a motivational speaker.
Oh.
You got to put someone down.
Oh my gosh.
Who gonna hype me up?
Oh,
Is that a song?
Dang.
Is that a song?
That's a good one.
Who gonna hype me? Okay, ready?
I don't know.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
I said 2.
Okay.
Ah,
I said
okay.
2.
That's a
Leah,
good
2?
one. That's a solid one.
And you said KK?
Because 2 is always common. Wait, she has so much wisdom.
How'd you know that?
Okay.
She always another day, another dollar.
Yeah, another
All right.
day.
I want to make sure you have time for your questions.
Okay.
So you fire away right now because we're running low on time.
Okay,
You
let's
ask
fire
your
away.
questions to your girl. And
Let's
I'll be
fire away.
Probably not chiming in as much as normal.
That's all
You
good.
never know with me.
Okay, well, to start out, I want to hear more broadly about what your experience has been like in the preseason, in the summer, like kind of right when you got here. What did that experience look like?
Like with the team or with basketball, like what specific?
You know, just like bringing the experience that you had, being at a place for 4 years, coming here to a new program, new team, and I feel like you just gelled perfectly.
Thank you.
And so I just want to hear what that experience was like.
I think that, well, to start, I would say that transferring is hard just because you're so used to how things are done and you've never seen things done differently. So you think it's just like across the board, everyone does things the same way. So when we got here, we did things very differently than what I'm used to. But I think what made it easy was the team, was, the culture that we had. Everyone works extremely hard, which, that is something that carried over from Marquette for sure. We value that too. And just like the personalities we had on the team, everyone has been so great, so nice and open, and that definitely made the transition easier. But yeah, I don't know. It's very smooth, I would say.
Yeah. I feel like we just have a very friendly team, so it's
For
not
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not really difficult.
Yeah.
What was, so I know me and you kind of share alignment with like just having faith that everything is going to turn out all right. And during this season when you had to rehab your foot and you missed a couple games, I know it's like
Oh my God.
what like kind of grounded you in that time when you didn't really understand what the purpose was, but now you made it over the hump. What really grounded you in that time?
Yeah, I think like we had a few conversations about this because we were hurt at the same time, and then talked to Los about it as well a lot, who's our position coach. I think just being able to see the games happen on the sideline and understand like, oh, I can really contribute in this way, or, being able to grow my relationships off the court. Being hurt is just huge for me because I need to feel like I have relationships with my teammates. That's really important to how I play. And so just being able to have that opportunity, obviously it sucks. We love playing basketball, but growing relationships, finding your voice as a leader, kind of taking it day by day, seeing them play, seeing how they're meshing and understand how you're going to work back into that was good to just slow things down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I hate to do this. We got to stop. You guys have a tournament to prepare for, and I have to get you out of here.
Shoot.
But I learned a lot about Liza today. Maddy, it's great to see you. I'd offer you a cupcake, but I know there's no way.
Pre-practice.
There's no way. There's no way. Okay. Guys, best of luck this week. Okay.
Thank you.
Good
Thanks
luck.
for having
We'll
us.
be watching, rooting for you. And I think I'll talk to you one more time. And enjoy
Thank
the
you.
last few weeks. Okay. All right.
Thanks
See you
so
guys.
much.
Appreciate it.
That does it for this week's edition of Wake Up the Echoes presented by TireRack.com. It's time. March Madness is here. The women are about to make their run in the NCAA tournament. If you can't make it to the game on Friday at 2 p.m. at Purcell Pavilion, it's on ESPN. Make sure you are tuned in, locked and loaded. If the Irish win, they play again on Sunday, and that game, of course, the winner would go to the Sweet 16. We'll all be watching and rooting on the Irish this weekend as they start their NCAA tournament, and we'll talk to you next time on Wake Up the Echoes, presented by TireRack.com.